The Haulbowline Theatre Group will be taking part in the Cove Arts Festival event this weekend from the 26th to the 29th of April. Loads of things happening in Cove, but the Haulbowline Theatre Group are going to be involved in 3 productions. And to talk about that, I'm delighted to be joined on the line now by the PRO of Haulbowline Theatre Group, Marc O'Driscoll. Marc, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Darragh. Thanks for having me.
Listen, delighted to talk to you online. We know each other away from radio, as you and I both know. In fact, if I'm right in thinking, you took over from me as match announcer in Cove Ramblers.
I did, actually, Darragh. Yeah, that's a funny little coincidence. I was doing it for the last 4 years or so, I suppose, but I'm actually moved up to Dublin there last September, so I've relinquished the role now at the moment as well. But that's very true. I'm sure I took over there around the 2013 season after yourself.
Yeah, and it can be seen now that you've moved to Dublin because, you know, your input is not there, and the results are reflecting that. The results haven't been great this season so far.
I don't know, maybe I was the good omen, was I?
Oh, I think you are. But listen, we won't talk about football. We could be talking about Liverpool and Roma as well. But let's talk about this festival of events that's taking place in Cove this weekend, and the Haulbowline Theatre Group are taking part. You have 3 performances coming up, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. So you mentioned it there. We're taking part in the Cove Arts Festival event. So that's now in its 4th year. It's our 2nd year involved with them. I suppose it's to promote the wonderful writers, artists, performers and musicians that Cove and indeed the wider East Cork area has to offer. So we were delighted to come on board and put together a programme of events that are going to take place on the Saturday and Sunday of the festival. So we're actually taking over the Sirius Arts Centre in Cove, which is a prominent venue for concerts and the arts in the East Cork area, and we have 3 different productions on the day. Our programme is going to take a look, I suppose, at life in 21st century Ireland. We're looking at some of the contemporary issues that people will be facing with today, but it's not, I suppose, all doom and gloom. There's lots of comedy mixed in with the pieces as well, so you're guaranteed a laugh if you make it down to the Sirius Arts Centre this weekend. Our main production, the big one from the 3, is Wallpaper, which is written by local playwright Joanne McCall. So this tells the story of a middle-aged couple attending separate marriage counsellors, but a strange turn of events unfolds and the counsellors actually end up needing more help than the couple themselves. So it's a bit of a redemption story as the couple learn that there's something worth fighting for with the marriage, whereas things are kind of going the other way for the 2 marriage counsellors, and there's some very funny moments indeed in there. And then we've also 2 shorter plays on the day as well. The first of which is 5 Friend Funeral. So that's by Glenn Kavanagh. And he's an up-and-coming, not only is he after writing the piece, but he's directing in it and starring in it as well. So we're very proud of this play going on the stage at the weekend as well. And as the title suggests, 4 best friends come together to bury one of their other friends, and as the day goes on they start to exchange a few stories at the funeral, and then there's a strange realisation about how the friend's death might have occurred. So I won't spoil any more about that one. As I said, Glenn there has wrote the piece, he's directed it and he's in it as well. And there's also, we're delighted to say, some actors that I would have began with in Haulbowline Theatre Group back when I was in transition year. There's a few actors that are after coming back to the group for this production as well, since they were involved in transition year many years ago. So we're delighted to have them back on board as well. And our final piece, if that wasn't enough, on the day as well is called McConnell and Co. and is by local playwright David McCall. So this tells the story of an old undertaker who tries to recruit his young grandson into the family firm, the noble profession of undertaking, a business which will never go out of business. So this undertaker considers himself an agent of God. He's not just an undertaker, and he likes to give the worms a bit of a challenge. So basically he's trying to recruit his grandson into the business, who has no interest in it. He wants to go off to college, but the grandfather is trying to make him see sense and see the potential that the business has. So all 3 plays deal with, as I said, the kind of contemporary issues of the 21st century, very topical issues, but there's also lots of humour thrown in as well. And in terms of kind of the people involved in the productions and who have wrote the plays, they're all Cove people. The seeds of the production were sown in Cove, and they're now coming to fruition in Cove as well.
Well, the Haulbowline Theatre Group has a rich tradition and a proud tradition in theatre, have won many, many awards over the years. I know I have great memories of going to the Haulbowline Theatre Group on Haulbowline Island for many productions over the years. Unfortunately, that theatre isn't in use now, but you couldn't find a more resplendent location than the Sirius Arts Centre, with the picturesque of the harbour behind you, and if you're lucky enough there'll be ships passing as well. Tell me, when are these plays taking place? I mean, are there times on them?
So it's 3 p.m. on Saturday and 3 p.m. on Sunday. So each day it'll be the same performance each day. Both days will have the three plays, going on stage. So you can either catch them on the Saturday at 3 p.m. or else on the Sunday. And I should mention as well that admission on the door is free, as it is part of the Cove Arts Festival event, and it being the nature of the festival, there's no charge or entry fee on the door. Now, you can give a donation to the festival if you wish, but essentially it's a free afternoon of entertainment on both Saturday and Sunday.
And of course, there are so many things taking place this weekend. I went onto your website last night, Cove readersandwriters.com, and I checked out some of the events. Some of them would be, there's a songwriting workshop on the Saturday morning, so it's not going to impact if you want to get to any of the plays, and that's taking place in Cove Library with Luna Parle, a songwriting workshop. On Friday evening in the Heritage Centre, there's a school's essay writing, local school children getting involved in creative writing. On Friday night after that, there's a storytelling event taking place in the Heritage Centre. So there's something for everybody. But knowing Joanne McCall and knowing David McCall, they'll be up to shenanigans with their playwriting capabilities, and I'm sure they'll have people in bundles of laughs.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I suppose the whole festival and the whole couple of days from Thursday to Sunday now, it's as you said, there's something there for everyone, and it's great to see that, as you know yourself, there's so much talent in Cove and the East Cork area. So it's great to see that there's actually this kind of festival where we can put it on the map and have it recognised. And I suppose that we can get maybe people who mightn't necessarily always go to the theatre or the arts, get them involved and let them see what's actually there, give it a bit of a showcase. A lot of the events, the majority of them across the weekend are all free. There's poetry readings, photographic exhibitions, essay writing competitions, storytelling, and it's not just for adults either. You mentioned there, I'm sure that the essay competition is for primary school and secondary school kids. So there's something there for everything, and it promises to be a very good weekend. If it's anything like it was last year, it'll be absolutely fantastic.
Now, one of the plays I'm really interested in is the one by Glenn, which is the five best friends and one of their friends' funeral. I've always said the best crack you'll ever get is at a funeral. And it sounds kind of dark, but, as somebody who sings at funerals, I've never got a complaint from the person, as they say. But talk to me about Glenn, because is he pretty new to writing and all that?
He would have had a couple of productions that he would have wrote on stage, performed with us before, but I suppose he is in the early stages of his writing career. He's wrote over the years a number of these kind of shorter 10-15 minute plays, so it's great to be able to give an opportunity like this to Glenn so that he can showcase his writing as well. And I'm sure he's working on a number of projects in the background as well, longer pieces, and he can kind of get experience from older members in the group as well, or I shouldn't say older, I should say more experienced members in the group, and they're always helping him and lending him a hand here and there. So David McCall, who's kind of put this whole production together, would have linked up with Glenn and gives Glenn, I suppose, this kind of opportunity to showcase his writing. It is a very funny piece. I won't spoil the twist in the events for you, but there is some dark humour worked in there, obviously enough. When it's a funeral, I suppose it has to be kind of dark humour, but as the stories of the person who has died unfolds, there's a bit of a twist in the events there in how that person actually died in the first place.
And of course, wallpaper sounds so interesting because, the whole going for counselling, for marriage and all that sort of stuff, and then to figure out, well, actually, the people that we're going along to be counselled by are the people who need to be counselled in the first place. That has everything there to be a barrel of laughs. Are you involved yourself, Mark?
I'm not at the moment there, as I said there. I'm based in Dublin.
I know you're in Dublin, but you can still act,
I know, but well, at the moment, what I kind of do is I've been roped in, or not roped in, but I'm given the kind of PR responsibilities, and they're big enough to begin with. That at the moment I'm kind of happy enough just to keep them going on the side and make sure that the word gets out there about all our different productions. And hopefully in the near future, when kind of college and that calms down a bit, I can get back involved again, because I suppose people who'll arrive down on Saturday and Sunday, they'll see the production, the hour and a half, but this has been in the pipeline for months now, and a lot of the guys would have been rehearsing 2-3 nights a week since early January. So there's a big commitment involved, which sometimes not everyone, when they actually go and enjoy the performance, sees. And of course there's lots of people working in the background then as well, not just in PR, but there's people, lights, sound, set design, costumes, set building. So there's obviously loads of work being done throughout the last couple of months for this production, and we're always looking for new members as well, especially people who like to get involved behind the scenes. So if you ever do fancy getting involved, you can check out our Facebook page and give us a message there, which is just facebook.com /Haulbowline Theatre Group. And we also have our own phone number for the group as well, 086 3388 942. So you can contact us there, and on our Facebook page at the moment as well. We have some more information and all the little blurbs there for the plays, which I would have spoke to you just now, and we have our event set up there as well with some more information about the day and the times and the directions to the event. So if you want to find out more information, that's definitely the place to go.
Well, Mark, as somebody who has been lucky enough to be involved in 2 stage productions, I know the magic of theatre, but for people that come along to see an event, all they see is the finished product, which are the actors and actresses on stage, and rightly so too. But what people forget is the people that are working in the background, and the enormous amount of work and commitment that goes in to creating that magic. And of course then, on closing night, it is like a death in the family when the stage has to come down and you got to go back to your regular day job. But for anybody who wants to, sample the joy and the magic of theatre in the company of some of the finest actors and actresses, I'm telling you, anywhere in Cork, in Ireland, come down to Cove this weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 3 p.m, 3 productions, a long play Wallpaper by Joanne McCall. We have the 5 Best Friends Funeral by Glenn, what's his surname? Kavanagh, Glenn Kavanagh. I have Glenn Campbell written down here. Glenn Kavanagh. And the third one then is McConnell & Co. by Daniel McCall. Listen, Mark, it's been great to chat to you. We go back a long way, our families, and listen, I wish you the very, very best of luck, and the best of luck in Dublin as well.
Thanks very much, Darragh. We might see you over the weekend, possibly. Would you make it along yourself to one of the performances?
I just might make a cameo appearance. You never know. I might be the one to pop out of the coffin or something, Mark, listen, thanks for taking the time to talk to us, and the very best of luck, and we'll catch up over the weekend.
Thank you very much, Darragh.
Take care, Mark. All the best.
Take care now.
Bye-bye. And there we had Marc O'Driscoll, the PRO for the Haulbowline Theatre Group, and I'm not overstating the obvious. This Haulbowline Theatre Group, they've been on the go for many years, and they've won so many awards, both locally, nationally, and even internationally. So if you're not doing anything this weekend, Cove is the place to be. So much for all the family.